Welcome to another episode of How to DragonCon. My name is Kong. I will be your guide, and today we are going to talk about the 10 biggest mistakes you can make at DragonCon 2026 that will prevent you from having the best time ever. So I've been attending the con since 2008, and unlike some people who will literally just do one thing the whole time, or maybe some people who stop going because it's not fun anymore, I've been able to evolve with the con over the years and have a blast every single year. So I'm going to share my tips so that hopefully you have the best time at this year's DragonCon. And hey, if you have advice to add, please be sure to drop it in the comments below because I can't possibly cover every single piece of advice about a massive convention like this one. Alrighty, let's get started. Mistake number one is waiting till the last minute to buy your ticket, right? Because we're in the first week of August now. This means that they've released a single day passes as of August 1st, which has been the date they've been using for the last few years. Please note these will sell out. So if you are planning to come for a day, buy that day sooner than later. And don't risk missing out on the one that you want and totally derailing your plans. And since we're on the topic of badges, just a reminder, as always, these badges, the single day ones, as well as the full weekend one, they are non-refundable and non-transferable. So please be aware of that before you buy it. You should also know that you cannot technically buy them at the door, right? At least not the physical badge. You have to buy it on your phone or on your computer at the DragonCon website and then bring your QR code to actually receive your physical badge at pickup. Mistake number two is just coming to DragonCon for one single guest or one single event. I'm willing to bet that at least a few hundred people bought their badge just to meet David Tennant alone when he was announced a little while back, but hate to be the bearer of bad news, he has been announced as a cancellation about a week ago. So this is just the reality of any Comic-Con. Guests have to unfortunately cancel for one reason or another. But instead of being sad about it, because again, refer back to point number one about the badges being non-refundable and non-transferable, you should look at it as an opportunity to explore all the different ways to have fun at the con. And this is very similar if you've got your sights set on just one singular event, whether that's a panel, a concert, a photo shoot. It's a lot of pressure to put on just one thing, right? And having that one thing determine if you end up having a good time or not. So please try to branch out, explore, live in the moment, and just don't be one-dimensional. Mistake number three is never looking at the schedule or the official app. Again, I know people who have been coming for years that don't do this. They're just there to literally soak in the vibes, or they're party and socialize, and that is perfectly fine. But I do think that you're missing out on so much of what's going on around the con. So especially if you're a first timer, please study the schedule ahead of time. But granted, DragonCon does not release the full schedule till about a week or two before the event itself, but you can always look at the previous year's app because it doesn't really change too much from year to year. You can at least gain a baseline understanding of how the con is organized, and you won't be overwhelmed trying to absorb all of it in the span of a short week. And the best way that I found over the years to optimize your con time is to glance through the schedule and just bookmark or favorite a lot of events that you're interested in, but don't be 100% married to attending every single one of them. You literally may not be able to get into some of them like the Bunny Hutch. So it's good to have backup plans. It's good to have things that you're curious about that you could check out just in case you happen to be in the area, instead of committing yourself to trying to trek across the entire convention just to make one event at a single time. And speaking of research, the number four mistake is trying to wing it completely when you show up, right? In terms of the whole con experience. DragonCon is not like 99% of other Comic Cons out there. It is not a generic fan con. Doesn't happen in a convention center. It doesn't run just from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. The usual rules don't apply here, right? So trying to show up on the day of and just thinking that you're going to have a good time probably will just lead to a lot of frustration. And I assure you, whatever questions and concerns that you may have in advance have already been asked by hundreds of other people over the years. So if you're a first timer, please check out the DragonCon Newbies Facebook group. It literally exists to help people who are coming for the first time. They will not be snarky at you for asking the same question that may have just been asked literally days ago. Plus, they have walking tours if you can actually get there early enough on Thursday. And if you're not on Facebook, the second best resource I can recommend is Reddit or DragonCon, right? So go in there, search for keywords like newbies, first timer, new con, first con, whatever, anything like that. And there will be a host of different threads. They always pop up usually in the summer before each year. And they are going to be full of advice from people who have gone that will serve you way better than this one video could. And on a related note, don't think you're going to come in for just one day and actually find parking for that one day, especially if it's something like Saturday or Sunday. It's already Labor Day weekend over Atlanta. Other events are happening in addition to DragonCon. You'll be lucky to find a parking spot that's actually under $40, but even if the price is right or you can afford to pay it, you would be lucky just to find an open parking spot or even get to the spot because of all the congested roads and foot traffic and possible road blockages that are going on. You could be stuck in the same quarter mile for an hour. So highly recommend that if you are coming in, to park your car at a MARTA station and take that in. It's very convenient. Just get off at Station Peachtree Center. You will literally be in the heart of the con. Mistake number 5 is basic hygiene. I really feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but at the bare minimum, adhere to the Comic-Con standard of 621, meaning 6 hours of sleep, 2 full real food meals, and 1 shower a day. Now, personally, mine is really closer to like 832 because I want to be comfortable, but it's going to be hot and humid, right? It's the tail end of the summer in Georgia. So wear your deodorant, wear shorts, wear t-shirts to be well ventilated, and at least 1 shower to at least minimize the BO, like that will still inevitably build up. And you got to eat, right? You can't just be drinking yourself silly the whole time. You can't just be loading yourself up on energy drinks. Speaking of drinks, if you are one to engage in a lot of alcohol, stay hydrated, right? You don't want to wreck yourself too early. Because of the heat and humidity often coming up over 90 degrees, you are going to be sweating and expending a lot of energy with all the exertion and walking around that you're doing. So please hydrate, hydrate. Mistake number 6 is not pacing yourself. So it's a very long event. Even if you're just coming for one day, it's going to be a long day, right? Some parts of the con truly can run 24 hours. Like I said earlier, it's not like your average Comic-Con where it just closes down at 5 p.m. It's literally like the second half of the con day starting at 5 p.m. So during any given day, please take a break, sit down somewhere every few hours. I recommend finding a little small panel room. Even if you don't enjoy the topic, maybe you will be surprised and you'll find something that you like. But even if you don't, you're in an AC room. You are sitting on your butt, you're resting your feet, and that will go a long way towards helping you survive the long nature of the day. And of course, if you're coming for multiple days, this goes even further, right? Don't go too hard too soon, especially with the partying and trying to see everything and cram everything. I know it's easy to get wrapped up in the hype that's in the early days of the con and start partying hard already. I have seen a lot of people crash out and burn out and get sick, so don't fall into that trap. Be sure to get your rest. Be sure to sleep in so that you're not running on fumes by the time that Saturday starts, because you still have all of Saturday, all of Sunday, and even parts of Monday to go through. Mistake number 7 is not testing things out in advance. I get something feel like I shouldn't have to say, but I will just in case. Things like shoes, bags, or even clothes that you just bought for the con or the event. Don't wear it for the first time at DragonCon and expect everything to go smoothly, right? This goes double if you haven't broken in any type of cosplay, especially if it's elaborate. You have to test it out in a real world situation. Wear it for longer than 10 minutes, move around, bend over, do all kinds of practical things that you feel like you would need to do in costume while you're at the con. And just assume that it'll actually be way more difficult to do those basic tasks at the con because now you've got the heat, the crowd, and all the chaos is going on around you. And also, please go in some mild exercise walking. You still have a few weeks. You've got about 4 weeks from the time that I'm recording this video. If you're a couch potato like me most of the year, you need to get in some type of walking shape before the con is here. Do at least 1 mile a few times a week. I feel like that's a bare minimum standard that should be reasonable for most people to hit. You do not want to be testing your joints for the first time, trying to immediately ramp up to something like 15 or 20,000 steps on day 1, and then asking your body to do it again over and over and over. So you want to be prepared for that. Number 8 is not packing essentials. Now, essentials is a pretty broad word, right? But I mean things like medications that you may take prescription-wise, over-the-counter pain meds, just different things to help you with indigestion, whatever, things like that. Even Band-Aids, right? Or even the right bag to carry your stuff, maybe the right protectors and sleeves to protect your autographs that you want to get. By the way, now's a great time to mention that the best way to support me is through my Amazon affiliate links that are below. You don't have to buy anything on my storefront, like literally none of it. Anything you buy, just start from the storefront and go buy it, and I will get a small commission from whatever it is you buy. It is a free way for you to show me support, and I thank you greatly if you do that. Whether you have it or you're looking for stuff to bring this year, here's some basics that I would recommend just from my own experience that have helped me a lot. A power bank for your phone. You're going to be taking a million pictures and videos. Your battery will run out. There are very limited options for wall outlets, as you can imagine, with tens of thousands of people there. So definitely bring a little power bank and keep that with you. Charge it at the end of each night. Some people have brought folding chairs to wait in some of the long lines. It definitely goes a long way besides having to stand on your feet all day. Portable fans or misting things or cooling solutions, whatever works for you, definitely do that. As well as a water bottle, going back to the hydrated point, and even sunscreen helps too. Mistake number 9 is actually trying to do everything and just setting yourself up for failure. It's kind of like on the flip side of point number 3, as someone who has been doing this for 17 years, and I have seen so many fun things, You simply cannot see everything that the con has to offer, at least not in one day, and certainly not even in the full 5 days that you're there, right? So don't set yourself up with that type of expectation. If people give you like a list of must see things to do, like the parade or a dance party or mega celebrity panel, just keep in the back of your mind that you simply may not be able to attend every single one of them, and that that's okay, right? It's the same thing if you're traveling, whether it's domestically or internationally. Just going by a checklist with zero flexibility, that is not going to lead to a good time. You have to remain fluid, you have to remain flexible, and be able to roll with the punches. And along the same lines, don't pack your schedule with back to back to back events. You aren't going to make them if all you're giving yourself is 5 minutes in between. It may literally take 5 minutes just to clear out of a panel ballroom or trying to get through one of the Hobbit Trail tunnels if it's a really peak time. So it's just not realistic. I like to give myself like an hour buffer in between events just in case I feel like either resting or checking something out that I didn't have planned or just getting stuck in traffic. Like it happens. And mistake number 10 is forgetting to have fun, right? Why are you coming to DragonCon in the first place? Hopefully, in some way, to have fun, to enjoy yourself, to have a good time. So don't lose sight of that. It goes back on not being fixated on one single thing to put all your hopes and dreams on, or ditto for having a checklist of things that you feel you must do in order to have a good time. Like there is a middle ground, and that's probably going to lead you to have the best time. The best parts of the con for me just come from being there, from people watching, right? To seeing other strangers geek out over the same thing, to smiling, laughing, cheersing one another. In a world that's become like too isolated and fake, DragonCon is a lingering beacon of authenticity. There's no litmus test on having to have a certain quality of costume. You can wear whatever you want. No one cares that you didn't make it from scratch or trying to have to validate your fandom in something. If you literally just got into something the week before the con, that is perfectly fine, right? It doesn't matter because we're all there for the same reason at the end of the day, right? If you are a fan of anything pop culture, that is where you belong. You are with your geek family, and we're all there for the same reason. And because of that, I think there really is magic in the air at DragonCon that I just simply can't seem to find at other fan events or other conventions. And there's something cool that's lurking around the corner if you're open-minded to it. Maybe you will see a quest giver. Maybe you'll see an impromptu dance off. Maybe you'll see two cosplayers running into one another. That's like the ultimate duo photo op. And it just happens in that moment. And then 5 minutes later, it's gone if you miss it. So leave yourself to being open to those kind of experiences. I assure you it will lead you to having some of the best memories that you can at DragonCon. All right, hopefully these tips will help you have a little bit of a better time at DragonCon 2026. For the con veterans who see this, please feel free to leave your tips and advice too. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe because we are there. We're in the home stretch. We barely have about 4 weeks until DragonCon.